Good evening, everyone. Welcome to live session with Sirus Migration again from 4 p.m. today. As usual on Thursdays at 4 p.m. So my name is Visuruyapa. I'm a registered migration agent, and I've got Ashani next to me. She's a registered migration agent as well. Ashani, you want to say hello to
Hi,
the
everyone.
audience?
Welcome to a Thursday live session. It's all about Australian immigration. So this is our last live session for 2020. We've had such a big, and we are also ready for the holidays.
So this is our last session, and tomorrow we're going to be away from office for 2 weeks for the year. We'll be monitoring mandatory communication from the Immigration and Home Department of Home Affairs, and also the assessing authorities and state governments to keep your files going. But if there's anything new, we unless it's something really urgent, we will be away for 2 weeks. We'll be back on 4th of January, so we're off till 4th. So today we didn't pick up anything too specific about specific topics. So we're going to talk in general. We're here to answer your any last questions before the end of the year. Most of the state governments, they're opening up these days for 188 visas, the business visas, 491 visas, 190 visas. So as you know, BSMQ, the Queensland government is active and operating. New South Wales started as well. Victoria, South Australia.
Everyone will be following very soon with some never seen occupation lists in the past. So I think skill migration and everything, as we know, has changed so much this year. We could say that this has been a year where we had seen the most changes in Australian migration. But still, there are ways to get through the systems if you really want to get permanent residency in Australia, and if you have studied or other ways to get permanent residency, it's still possible. But if you're offshore, it could be quite difficult unless you're working in critical sector, unless you have a clear pathway. It has been quite difficult, and we can expect that for the next year as well. But other than that, I think let's move to a bit of skilled migration, some updates. So now finally, Home Affairs has given the state quota, the nomination quotas to each state. So they are now working to finalize their quota and designing their program, what it's going to look like for 2021. Some of the states are open, some of them are not open yet. So Queensland, some of them are half open. So I'll just quickly go through Queensland and New South Wales. Queensland government's currently issuing invitations for skilled migration, subclass 190 and 491. But see, they had an interim allocation from end of September for a week or so. So they have received a lot of invitations during that time. And they are currently only focusing on issuing invitations for those applicants. They are not accepting any new EOIs. Most likely they will start accepting new EOIs after they clear the backlog in January or February next year. That's what we are expecting. But to do with business visas in Queensland, subclass 188, 132, all these streams, we can lodge EOIs right now, but they have said they are currently processing again EOIs lodged in September this year. So the EOIs that are lodged from now will probably have a bit of a delay, but still we can go ahead and lodge EOIs in Queensland for business visa. So that is again good news. So we can look at New South Wales now. New South Wales very recently opened their skilled migration program. Their business migration program, they did open for interim period, but they are closed now. So they've received the new quota and they have said they will start accepting direct applications from February 2021. So if you're a business person looking to apply for New South Wales nomination, then this could be a really good time for you to start preparing your documents. then you will be ready to lodge your expression of interest and application to New South Wales government as soon as they reopen with their full quota in February 2021. Their skilled migration program, they have opened, many occupations are only available for subclass 491, which is only some regions, and there are some specific regions who are participating for this 491 program. Most of the states are Central Coast, Central West, Fourth South Coast, Far West, Hunter Valley. So there are few, they've broken it into different regions, and some occupations are available for some regions and some are not available for other regions. 190, only few occupations, some engineering, some medical administration, nursing, clinical director, welfare center manager, aeronautical engineer, biomedical engineer, naval architect, engineering professionals not elsewhere classified, some nurses, registered nurses, aged care, a few other registered nurses in different areas like critical care and development. What other occupations we can see for 190? ICT business analyst, system analyst. So some IT occupations, program developer, software engineer, not civil engineer, it's not available for 190. Electrical engineering draftsperson, electrical engineer, and building and engineering technician. So as you can see, we came up with a priority skill migration, not us, department came up with a priority skill migration list. There were some occupations and we predicted that most likely the skill migration occupation list would look like that. And this is sort of proof from New South Wales, most of the occupations that are in PMSOL or the priority migration skill occupation list, those are the occupations that are in New South Wales new critical list. So I think Australia is all about coming out of COVID-19 crisis and economic recovery. So most of these occupations are helping for these things, and that's why they are in the list. So as I said, we have not seen a list like this in the past. Could be some disappointing news for some of our clients who are not from these sectors, but this can change next year or the year after. Once Australia bounce back, it could go back to normal. But right now, if you're in one of these sectors, this is your chance. There are few criteria of there's going to be in New South Wales few invitation rounds and different criteria to pick who's going to be invited first. So if you're interested, please get in touch with us. We are more than welcome to assess your profile and give you the best advice which visa would be suitable for you. So that is Queensland and New South Wales for you. Probably wouldn't go into all the other states. Some states are closed and some are open. But if you want any
some
specific,
are opening up and some are opening up partially. They're doing 1891, accepting 189190 visa applications, but not to 188 some areas. So we should be able to update you a little bit more
maybe
in 2021.
January, yes.
Yeah, so we'll probably get ready for a better. So we've got some questions from our YouTube visitors. I'll go into Harry SS. Hi, what's the chance for 342314 with 90 points to get invited to 190 and 189 visas? 342315 electronic instrument trade workers special. So 90 points is quite.
I wasn't listening.
Yeah,
what's
quite
the
a
chance for 90 points to get invited for 190?
Good number.
Yeah, depending on where you live and whether, because more than this points, they are also looking at your work experience, how long you've been there as well. So points, of course, matters, but also matters if you're living in the state, currently working, and how much experience and English you have.
When it comes to this occupation, 342315, don't forget you're talking about 189 and 190, but you because the occupation is in MLT SSL, you're eligible for medium to long-term occupation list. You're also eligible for 491 visa, 482 employee nominated visa, 494 186 if you have 3 years experience with the course completion. So there are other options available for you as well. For further information, please don't hesitate to be in touch. But 90 points is quite good.
Yeah.
Because just the states are just opening. We can't tell you exactly. It'll be the good mark, but NT is the most highlighted state for this occupation. We'll move into the next question. Kiaz Shah, I have applied for student visa. My course starts on January. My application status is in further assessment. When do you think I will be getting the decision? Please reply. Really stressed. So it
Which
again
country?
depends on whether you're onshore, offshore, and which country you're from.
So even if you're offshore, even if your visa is not granted, if your university is happy, you can start your studies. That will actually help in getting your student visa granted. Pretty much shows that you're a genuine student.
So from New Zealand.
Okay,
Yeah,
if you're
should
from
be.
New Zealand, hopefully your visa should be granted soon. And I know that there is a travel bubble from New Zealand, so you should be able to come to Australia as well. So yeah, and then you should be able to start your studies in February, if not definitely in July. So February, maybe you can study online, but then you can come and continue your studies in July from Australia.
Saviona Ray, got a question from you about 491 visa. What happens to the other occupations for 491 visa for offshore? Will we be given a chance in next year? We can predict, we can tell you stories. To be honest, we don't know. There's no indications as yet. They only just starting this program now. So let's see how we go. 491 offshore, we'll probably have to wait a little while. Next question, Nihir Gandhi. Hi, civil engineer with 85 points, 189, 90 points. Sorry, 85 points for 189 and 90 points for 190. Any chance I am eligible for New South Wales 190 without local New South Wales funding experience?
Civil engineer is not in New South Wales 190. I don't think so.
So yeah, we can quickly tell you.
No, civil engineer is not there. So civil engineer is only available for 491. So please find out, just let us know what's your employer's postcode. Then we can see if you're eligible for 491. But civil engineer is not available for 190 in New South Wales.
So bit of bad news, but there might be other options available. Again, be in touch. admin@sirus.com.au or reception@sirus.com.au. Or you can call us anytime on 07 3361 8177. Or send us a message through Facebook or the website sirusmigration.com.au. Kiasha, hi, I have applied for a student visa. My course starts on Jan. So we answered that question. Nishanta Disanayaka, I think you were there last time, Nishanta. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. Hi, I hope you guys are doing well and safe. Greeting from Sri Lanka. Thank you very much. Hope you guys are doing well as well. And recovering from the COVID situation these days. Oluyumia, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong again. I have submitted EOI for 190, 491. I have admission to study in Griffith University. I come with a student visa. Can I still be selected for any of the EOI submitted? If your question is you newly applied for a student visa and you already have an existing EOI in there. If you meet the criteria, you should.
No, probably now if once you come to Australia, you'll probably fall under different category because you're onshore then.
You're onshore, yeah.
If you have applied as offshore, then it's a different criteria. So if you come onshore, then you'll have to meet the criteria for an onshore applicant.
And you might be able to put up a new EOI again. And
most likely, if you're studying in Griffith, you must be in Queensland. You must be coming to Queensland. For Queensland, to get a 190 or 491, you must have full-time work rights working in Queensland with a job offer. So it could be quite tricky unless your partner's studying masters and you have full-time work rights. It might be quite tricky if you come to Australia under student visa. I've got a question in Facebook. Ashan's been joining us in the last few weeks, actually. Hi, can you have any news regarding Western Australia state nomination? Still, it's closed. Western Australia is not closed. They are open, but they're open with a critical occupation list, not a lot of occupation. So, Ashan, please get in touch with us. I think it's worth having a consultation. If you're in Western Australia and interested, then we can be ready for next time when they open. So if you're looking into lodging an EOI, please send us an email. I think Mario will send you our email address where you can get in touch with us.
So, Nilusha Disanaga, you got a question about any good news on reopening Queensland for international students for 2021? Look, if I say yes, it'll be wrong because there's no...
we don't have an indication as yet, but a lot of universities are offering online studies. So if you offshore, and they have told us that it is increasing because, for example, university like Queensland University of Technology, for you to normally come and study here, you have to pay about at least $14,000 to up to $20,000 a semester. But they have come up with a system case by case. If you're offshore and if you want to start studying, then you only have to pay $5,000 and you don't have to take the full workload. So if you're an international student onshore, you normally have to study at least 4 subjects.
So when you're
36
offshore,
credit points, but when you're offshore, there is no such requirement. So it could be a really good time for you to start studying online from offshore when you only have to pay $5,000 to get the confirmation and start.
So you can probably start with a couple of units initially. That'll take off your major workload when you come on shore as well, Nilusha. I think it might be a good idea to consider that. And also these fee concessions doesn't happen every day. So you may as well use those opportunities. And also, rather than taking in your first semester, taking full load, it might be a good opportunity. And also for those who are looking to get to their career in a fast-track manner, you may as well start your work now and finish off your degree sooner than later. So if you need any guidelines, please be in touch. And there's a lot of scholarship schemes and also fee concession schemes in different universities. Unfortunately, TAFE Queensland doesn't want to encourage students to go into online studies because of for obvious reasons, because they're hands-on institute where they are training people for the workforce, hands-on experience, which I agree with their concept. But when it comes to universities, you can get the same real-life experience with the live lecturer, live sessions, one-on-one workshop and tutorials. So there's not much you're going to miss out. So if you're offshore and willing to study, maybe a good time to start.
So we probably move into talk about global talent visa. We haven't touched base on global talent visa in our past previous sessions. So Isuru, do you want to start?
Yeah, global talent visa is for internationally recognized skilled people. There's no big age limit in most of the cases. So there is no point system. you need to be focusing on working in 7 target sectors. So selected sectors given by the Home Affairs in the global from the global talent team. You need to be working in either agri-technology, space and advanced manufacturing, fintech, financial technologies, that is, energy and mining technology, medical technology, cybersecurity, quantum information, advanced digital, data science and ICT, ancillary services. And also, if you're working currently, you need to be earning more than 153,600 Australian dollars or more per year, or else you need to be
or you need to prove that you have the capacity to earn that money. So sometimes when you're in a third world country, you probably wouldn't be earning that. Even if you do, when you compare the currencies, it's probably different. So, there are ways that we can look into it, but the criteria says you need to have the ability to earn the high income threshold, which is 153,600, and you have to be a prominent person in one of these 7 sectors. You could be, and you need to prove that you are in international recognized status in these sectors. So we have seen from the data that we have received, we can see that there's about 200 invitations roughly granted every month. And there's a huge quota of 15,000 places per year. So I think this is a really good visa, a visa that's pretty new and people didn't know. And this is fast-tracked permanent residency.
It's been almost a year, but since they initially introduced this program. So if you're working in one of those sectors, so when it comes to medtech, you don't have to be a technician. It could be you could be a person who will be raising funds to be in a project, or you could be in that part specializing in it.
Someone related to one of the 7 sectors, in the sector or related to a sector, to develop these sectors. So we have seen visa grants. Our last visa grant only took about 2 to 3 weeks from the invitation from the lodgement. So this is really good timing to get Australian permanent residency. As you can imagine, not everybody is eligible for this visa, but if you believe that you are eligible for this visa, please don't waste this opportunity. We don't know how long it will last for, but since we have this opportunity, get in touch with the migration agent, get your profile assessed and lodge an expression of interest. It is free of charge to lodge an expression of interest. Normally these days they get back to you pretty quickly as well. Maximum could be about 2 to 3 months.
There are about 15,000 allocations or places available for applicants this year, this financial year. And if you're not earning that $153,600, don't stress too much. There are other 2 options available for you. You could be either a recent graduate or a person who's going to be graduating as a PhD student within the 6 months of the final thesis, or else you could be someone who has just completed master's or bachelor's with 80 points or above in your GPA. But please note, this is not just all about you just completed your master's with 80 points. Then you have to have significant influence in your field and expertise in your field. You could be one of those, as the title says, it has to be a global talent. So you're going to be a really good, talented person. So
with the international recognition. So your points are just one criterion out of many criterions in the visa.
So
worth giving it a try.
And also you don't necessarily need to have a lot of academic background either. You could be working in a specific field with lots of experience and background behind you. You could be 22 years old with no bachelor's degrees or master's degrees, but you would have developed good an application or a fintech technology or a software that you would develop that is world famous. So if you're into that, you could be eligible. So if you think you have good, talented background, you could be attracting $153,000 or $600 or more. You might be eligible. So be in touch. We can explain further with customers relevant information to you, and also there are this is one of the very fast, if not it's the fastest way to get into Australian permanent residency. There's no English requirement either.
For the visa, there is functional English, but for the expression of interest, there is no English requirement, no age requirement. But if you're over certain 55, then you need to prove how you can be an exceptional benefit to Australia. So
this is a wonderful program that Australian Department of Home Affairs has come up with. That the target is to bring these experts to establish and create more jobs, create more opportunities for Australian citizens. So we've seen the applications coming through. They're wonderful backgrounds, wonderful talents that we are going through. It is a privilege for us to be a part of their journey as well. I think this is, being in the industry for a while, I think this is one of the
most exciting
program came with, and then it'll be a good contribution for Australian economy as well within the next few years. And the way it goes, we would love to see how these applicants come to Australia, settle themselves down, and start their journey with developing the economy. And remember, if you get the permanent residency during these COVID lockdowns, you will still be able to travel to Australia because you'll be treated as an Australian permanent resident. So the visa process doesn't take more than a month in a good day. So if you got these talents, please be in touch. We'll be able to guide you and support you through this. We've got a few more questions through YouTube. How about Facebook? Is there any questions?
No, I'm monitoring Facebook. Ashwin, thank you for your inquiry. You have asked how you can call us if you need help. So we are currently, our office is located in Brisbane. So our phone number is +61 7 3361 8177 if you're calling from offshore. But if you're onshore, just 07 3361 8177. And we also have a WhatsApp number. If you're from offshore, it's +61 450 674 787. If you're onshore, then there's no +61, it's 0450 674 787.
Alushi, again, quickly with your question about when will you be able to physically come to study in Brisbane. Unfortunately, we don't know. And in relation to the question about the New South Wales not being in accepting 190 electrical engineers, it's not 190 is the only option you've got. You've got other options. So depending on your background, please be in touch. We will be able to assist you further. Rosemary, Anthony, global talent independent visas are applicable for nurses.
Not really. If you're a registered nurse and if you haven't done anything else other than working and studying as a registered nurse, most likely you will not be eligible. But if you have done other research, a PhD, something related to medtech, any publications, then by all means, yes, we can try GTI.
Umar Mohammed, Mahmood, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong again. Any update for 485 visa holders stuck abroad? Any possible extension for visa or anything?
No, we haven't seen any extension streams. There has been some provisions where people can lodge 485s and get them granted when they're offshore. So that's again great news. If you're stuck offshore student visa, then you can actually get an extension to lodge your 485 from 6 months to 12 months. And also you now can lodge and get granted offshore, given that you fall under one of the categories.
Mhm.
But we haven't really seen any extension streams for people who already are holding 485s and stuck offshore. You never know. It may come into effect January, just to help these 485 holders. But as of now, we don't know.
A lot of people have this question, so there'll be some considerations coming up, but as of now, we don't have a proper answer for you, right?
Yeah.
Mohammed Al-Jipel, I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. When we can expect the occupation list for state nomination visas, subclass 190, mainly for Western Australia?
Western Australia currently has their list, so get in touch with us and we'll be able to tell you when's the next round and your eligibility.
Western Australia's put it out there.
Yeah.
And also, if you're if you're preparing for the 190 occupation list, PSMOL, how do you say it?
Priority Migration Skill Occupation
PMSOL
List
is a good guideline, and there'll be a little bit of an addition or
extension from Priority Migration Skill Occupation List, but this is a really good guidance. There's 17, 18 occupations in there, some nursing, some engineering, some IT, some social work, some construction. So this is where we can see the some medicine as well, some resident medical officers and general practitioners, psychiatrists. So this is where we can see skill migration is heading, at least in the next year, just to, as we said earlier, to come out of COVID crisis. So if you're planning to study, or if you're looking into skill migration, if you're in one of these sectors, then actually you will have a really good chance. And I think we are running out of time as well.
We've got a few more. So we've got another question about.
What's the question?
Does the immigration clauses for Christmas and few New Year break, will that impact the decision making?
It wouldn't impact the decision making, I wouldn't say so, but it would impact the delay in getting a decision. From the information we have right now, I believe they're closed from 23rd of December till 4th of January. So most likely they don't take very long breaks. They only close for during the public holidays. So I don't think it'll affect too much on your timing of getting, or the processing time, but I don't think it'll impact the actual decision in any way.
But if you do have a FIR, further information request, and your deadline falls during the closure dates, which is say 23rd to 23rd of December to 3rd of January, please ensure you meet this deadline, even though they're in holidays, so the department is not active those days. You're required to meet those obligations. So not responding on time could be a reason for adverse decision.
So I've got a question from Akhtar Raza for accountants in BSMQ. No, the only accounting occupation under BSMQ you would be eligible for could be 491 small business owner. Accountant hasn't been in Queensland for quite some time. Queensland doesn't really have a fixed list as of now. What they have said is they opened in interim and said if you're helping in COVID crisis, then you can apply and prove how you help for economy or in one of the critical sectors, then you got an invitation. but they haven't come up with a occupation list. So we don't know what it's going to look like, whether the accountant's going to be there. Quite unlikely. But if you're an accountant in Queensland, 491 small business owner could be one pathway that is open for you.
Siddharth Kane's got questions about any updates about contributory parents visa for 143. There has not been many changes.
No updates. It's pretty much being the same. Yeah.
So Ravi,
sorry, Kamal, I think I've missed your question. Kamal saying no answer for my question, but I can't find the question. Where do I find the question?
Can you guys see what's Kamal's
I
question?
can't see it. Kamal Acharya.
On Facebook.
Facebook.
I can read it for you.
Yeah, the question's there.
Hi, I'm at Darwin and studying diploma in leadership after completing MPA in Sydney. What are the chances of getting 491 at Darwin, Northern Territory? Can we apply as a full-time work in Cook for 6 months or need to work in related field?
It has to be the related field because you need to have a skill assessment in the nominated occupation, and that skill assessment should be from the occupation that you nominate. Kamal, you can maybe send us an email, send us your CV. I can check if you have any previous qualifications and experience as a cook. Then there may be a possibility. Yeah.
So you got a question from Ravi Mankham. Any advantage of sibling has citizenship in Australia? I guess the question is, if you have a sibling with Australian citizenship, is there any advantage? It depends on what you apply
Which
for.
visa you are applying for?
For 491 visa, there'll be some support apart from that.
There are some skilled visas with family pathway, and if your sibling and you are the only people left in your family, then there could be remaining relative or some few pathways for who have siblings who are Australian citizens.
189, 190, back in the days there were some points if you have closer relations in Australia, but these days there's no.
It's just for regional skilled migration. They have to be living in regional area for 12 months before they can sponsor you.
So Khandija Marika, do you think things will be okay for international students in February 2020?
We really hope so. That's our only hope as well for international students, but maybe not for February. But
February
we have
2022.
2022 will be okay, I think.
We guess it'll be definitely okay.
We really want it to be okay.
Shalam Shak Shahid, any program of master's degree in data science from Australia? There are plenty of programs.
Many. And we are more than happy to help you find the right university to suit your budget and the state as well. So that's what we do. So get in touch with us. We will help you with definitely. The enrollment.
Ashish has a question about when we expect the visa grant for 190, not nomination for the offshore candidates.
Not nomination. So that means you have already received a nomination and awaiting visa.
So
could be quite a while. Unless your occupation is in the priority list, it can take a while.
Yeah. Pro Talks, what's category or what's name of this? Interest in this. Sorry, Pro, we didn't understand your question. So maybe send us an email with the full question and we'll endeavor to get back to you in this regard. Nilusha Disanayaka, my last concern would be, is it really needed to do IELTS if applying for masters in Griffith University? I have done 4 years in English medium already.
If the university doesn't require it, you don't need English because with the current level of Sri Lanka, if university is willing to accept you without English, then for the visa purpose, you don't need English.
So Nilush has done a bachelor's degree with 4 years in English medium.
Depending on what Griffith will require.
Then, then again, it comes down to what you're studying and what the university would accept. Ashish George, I'm offshore applicant, skill ICT, business analysis, have 90 points, 491 and 84,190. Chances for getting an invitation, especially for looking for SA or New South Wales.
You need to have a
ICT.
job offer before you can get an invitation
Business analysis.
from the latest news that we have. So let us know if you have a current job offer from Australia. Otherwise, may not get an invitation right now.
Naz Ahmed, question is, when will labor wise? Sorry, didn't understand the question, Naz. Happy Gill, diploma course in nursing. Did you want to study? It's the diploma course in nursing. There is a good course in TAFE Queensland for 18 months. That also, before you go to bachelor's, gives you a good opportunity to get an become an enrolled nurse, which you can then go and work in the field as an enrolled nurse. We always recommend it, but for you to get enrolled for this course, you need to have IELTS 7. Jessica Joseph, I'm planning to complete Masters of Social Work. Will this help me, Ashani? I think
Definitely, yes.
That's her favorite.
Social work went into priority migration skill occupation list. So it is now officially categorized as a critical occupation. That will definitely help you. So next steps is apply for your 485 visa, find a job, start working, get your English done, get your points done. You may be able to apply for 190 or 491. It's really good time for you to start planning now. Don't wait for too long. If you're finishing your studies, go and see a good migration agent and who handles skilled migration, and get your permanent residency pathway drafted. So you know what exactly you need to do in the next year and a half for you to be eligible to apply for 190 or 491. But coming back to the question, the studies that you have done and the occupation you have selected, excellent.
Satendra Kumar, that's very biased, social work. Satendra Kumar, hello sir, I am assistant professor having 8+ years of experience and PhD in management. What are the possibilities of getting visa? Please guide. Satendra, thank you for your question. You looks like you got a lot of background and a PhD. You might barely touch the GTI. I don't know if you're targeting that sector as well. So the best way is to send us a CV, be in touch with us, and we will then guide you through. We will probably need to know a little bit more about you, what experience you have, what you've been lecturing. Have you been doing anything else, and what's PhD results, and what publications you have completed, and etc.
I think we are done for the day, right?
We have 3 more questions.
Oh,
it's
really?
The last.
Okay.
Guys all blaming me. Our audience, it's half an hour, but I think we should go finish these questions before we go. It's the last one, guys. We will be putting up a back of house and a fun video from us soon.
Question from Manakuwata Fernando. Can I apply for 887 without 24 months requirement staying in qualified visa? I've been in bridging for almost 14 months being applied for 489. I meet everything else living in remote. No, you can't. You need to, once you get the visa granted, you need to qualify for the, you need to fulfill the residency requirement.
I've got a question from Rosemary Anthony. Our accountants will come under fintech sector. So just because you have if you just have an accounts bachelor's or master's and you're expecting to come into fintech, no. But if you've been working in fintech related fields, then definitely yes. And remember, if you have $153,600 or more income, and also or else if you've been just graduated from a PhD or have 80% or above master's results, then you will be eligible
But we need to fit you into one of the 7 sectors. Just accounting is not fintech, but you know, it is not impossible. We have seen accountants.
So if you develop a
limitations.
financial technology platform, lending platform, something etc. like that, system like that, or you've been working in that sector, please be in touch. But if you think you have that background, please be in touch. We will do a background assessment on you, and we will get you a little bit more thorough results or an answer for you. Shrita has a question. What does it look like for marketing specialists? I'm currently based in Melbourne and have my skill assessed. You want to answer that, Tasha?
No, you can answer.
Marketing, there's not much we've got in this sector. Let me.
Until Isuru looks for that, Kamal sent another message. Thank you for your suggestion towards me. I have emailed you my background. Can you please have a look? Sure, we will do that once we finish this. Maybe tomorrow I will have a look at it and we will get back to you to give you a consultation. It may not happen this year, unfortunately, because tomorrow's our last day and we have pre-booked consultations and a bit of work tomorrow. So it will probably be in the week starting 4th of January, but one of our staff will get back to you. Thanks for that. And Manakawata Fernando said, thank you, Ashani. You're welcome. Anushka, is community service diploma in PR list or 491 visa? And did ACWA change any new regulation on 14th December? I haven't heard ACWA changing any new regulations on 14th of December. I could be wrong. We've been quite busy with some of the other things, so we couldn't really stay up to date with these the authorities, assessing authorities. So I can have a look at it and get back to you with regards to that, but haven't heard anything.
So marketing specialist, you got opportunities in ACT and NT for 190 and 491. So the occupations in STSOL, so the opportunities are a little thin with going into it with 482 or 494 visas. You can get into 482, but looking for permanent pathway is going to be a bit of a tough one. Fardin, Turkey. Dear sir or ma'am, I want to do the study in Australia, but I have 12th, done 12th pass out 2019. Percentage is low. My 12th pass is 44%, 44.4%. So look, with studies, grade 12 results is not going to stop you for studying further. If you have a good plan and what you want to study, then we can guide you through what next steps we can. If you
probably have to study something
like a foundation
offshore
course
in your country to get your qualifications equal to grade 12 before you come to Australia. So this could be the perfect time to do that because Australia is currently closed for international students. So most courses require you to have either year 12 or an equivalent qualification to a year 12. And most of the countries offer foundation programs that can get your qualifications equivalent to year 12. So this could be a solution for your issues with year 12.
You can either study foundation in your country or in Australia, depending on where you're from. So be in touch. We're happy to share more information. Please be in touch through admin@sirus.com.au, admin@sirus.com.au. Aziz has got a question. She's in a 485, expiring in June 2021. I have recently graduated bachelor's in accounting, but my points are not enough for skill migration. Do I have any chance to get a new visa. You might be able to apply for if you want to stay further and skill up yourself, maybe you can consider applying for a master's degree or a postgraduate degree. And if you want to consider studying further or getting other options, or you can get into, I don't know if you've done any work during your 485 visa. Unfortunately, you won't be able to apply for 485 again. So if you need some guidelines for your next course, of course, please be in touch and we'll be able to support you. So the guys, we would love to keep going.
Yeah, I
It
think
looks like,
we will probably
we got
so many questions coming from Facebook as well. Thank you so much for all your questions. We will definitely get back
We've
to
got
you for each and every questions from
we
Facebook.
didn't answer many 188 questions. So we got one last question from Rupal Kanuja about 188. Hello, is it confirmed news that business visa with 188A visa requirement will be changed in July 2021? The business turnover for 2 years is $500,000 and
We don't really have confirmed information that it is going to change in July. The BIP program was due for a change and all of a review was going through, which was going to be probably introduced this year, but then that didn't happen because of COVID. So there is a possibility that it may happen next year. So I've been advising my clients as well to get EOI lodged and get an invitation in hand before July next year, because the fees can go up and the requirements can most likely go up, but there is no solid news about any such requirement changes, but it's likely.
I apologize for the rest of the questions we won't be able to answer today. There's plenty, and we have already gone half an hour past our scheduled time. So thank you very much for joining us again. And this is our last session for the year, just before we go for 2 weeks off from the office. And we would like to personally thank you very much for joining us during these live sessions and supporting us throughout the year. It's been a tough year for everyone. Please stay safe. Enjoy your holiday times, and wish you all a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Expecting big things to happen in 2021. Wish you all a very best for the new year coming. You want to say something?
Yeah, thank you for trusting us and letting us help you for your visas for our existing clients. And thank you for tuning in to our live sessions and showing your support and asking us questions. Please stay safe, enjoy your time with your family, and we will see you in 2021.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.